All right guys, welcome back. We got tons of doing the charger, so let's just get started. Now what I got here is an aftermarket trans cooler and power steering cooler. But before we can get to this stuff, I need to address the AC system. And one of the things I want to do is replace this condenser. Now, the power steering cooler is on the front, and then the trans cooler is actually in the top here. So before we can get to the good stuff, I want to replace this, and then we can go from there. So I got a replacement condenser here, and you can see those two lines right there are your factory trans cooler. So that's why I want to replace this before we get to putting the aftermarket stuff on. Now, replacing a condenser on one of these cars, the Challengers, Chargers, Magnums, 300s, is all basically the same. The only big difference will be removing the front bumper, but once you get in there, they're all basically the same. Take these plastic shields off, have to pop the power steering cooler off. There's 4 bolts that hold the condenser to the radiator, and we should be able to slide it right out of there. All right, we're gonna start with removing these shields. They're just held in with push pins. Got one at the top, and there's one down here at the bottom. Same thing over here. This one has the harness connected to it, so we'll pop these out. All right, you can see there is a push pin there. There's a push pin right down there on the lower radiator support. This side had the harness connected to it. Now, it may vary depending on what model you have, but relatively they should be all the same. The next thing we'll do is remove the power steering cooler, if your car has one. We'll leave it connected for now. There's just tabs that you push down right here. Slides out like that. We'll just leave that hanging just like that. All right, next we'll do our pressure lines. One here at the top and bottom. Now, you want to make sure your system has been evacuated or is empty before you go pulling these lines off. Now, what I like to do is leave the nuts on just a little bit, just in case there's pressure in there. That way, you can loosen the line up. That just prevents you from pulling this line off too fast. And if there's any extra pressure in there, spraying all over you, the nuts will catch the line. So you can remove it slowly, but I think we're good. All right, now all we have left is the trans cooler lines. Pop these little boots off. There's going to be a little clip in here. You can just kind of see it right there. Basically, it's like a C-clip that snaps on there. And usually, if you take a pick tool or even a small screwdriver, you can loosen it like that. And drop it on the floor. Same thing down here. Just like that. And there they are. It just has the 2 side clips there. If you just pry one out, you can usually work it out of there. And these just pull out. Might make a mess. That's why I have a rag handy. All right, now we can remove the bolts and pull the condenser out. And the condenser is just 4 10mm bolts. You just got to pull out. And we should be able to take it like this. Carefully slide it out of here. Okay, we got the 2 condensers side by side. If you're going to reuse your power steering cooler, you'll have to relocate these brackets onto the new one. They just got these plastic nuts that you unscrew, and you can pull this out, push it through the fins on your new condenser, and put a nut on the back. Also, you may have noticed I gave this a little quick coat of black paint just to hide it a little bit better. Now, the only other thing we have to do is add some oil to the condenser. Whenever you replace a component on the AC system, like condenser, compressor, or the evaporator, each one is supposed to carry a certain amount of oil. For these cars, the condenser carries 1 ounce or 30 milliliters. So we're just going to add some oil to this. Now you need to make sure you get the right oil for your compressor. So it's important you look that up. Make sure you get the right oil. That way you get the right oil in your condenser before you throw it back in the car. Don't forget, guys, if you want to add paddle shifters to your LX Dodge, I have all the wiring kits you need to make them function. 05 to 10 LX Dodges, no matter the model, as long as you have the NAG 1 5-speed. I got a direct wire kit for 05 to 07s, a direct wire kit for 08 to 10s. And if you don't want to do any wiring, easiest setup is the button setup with the Z Automotive transformer, and then even pursuit, guys, with the column shifter. I got a harness kit for you guys too. If you want more information, check out my website, anthonysgarage1.com. It has examples of what paddles to look for, information on the kits, and if you want to order or have questions, hit me up on Instagram or Facebook. Let's get back to the video. Now let's slide this thing back in, just like the way the other one came out. Okay, one thing I forgot to mention was you're going to want to swap these studs out from your original condenser. It's a inverted Torx. I believe it was a E8, and I just cleaned them up, and I'm going to thread them back into the new condenser. Now it's also a good time to replace these O-rings before you put this back together. Now mine showed no signs of leaking, so I'm going to assume they're okay. They look like they're in good shape, so I'm just going to put a little PAG oil on there before I push it in, and hopefully it's good. When you push that in, just kind of rock it a little bit. You don't want that O-ring to roll, so just work it in slowly. You should be good. Throw the nut on. All right, first one's done. Same thing on the bottom connection. Now I got both connections done. This is where you put your transcooler lines in. Now you should already have the clips in there. So all you should have to do is slide that in until it snaps, and then that's good. Now I'm not going to connect these because of the transcooler we're going to put in. Also, this is where you would snap up your power steering cooler. You'd have your 2 brackets in there, and you can snap that back in, and then put your plastics back in, and then you can fill the system. All right, that's going to wrap this one up. Next video, we'll do that trans cooler, and then the video after that, we'll do the power steering cooler. So if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. Lots more content on the way. Appreciate you guys for watching. Hopefully this helps, and I'll see you on the next one.